from that data. That's the major objective when we are applying some kind of statistical concepts. And primarily when I am looking at the financial world, I may want to analyze the various returns, stock returns, bond returns, or probably I want to assess the prices, the stock prices, the commodity prices, or I may be interested in looking at the growth rates, different kinds of growth rates, or for that matter any such kind of a financial data over a large period of time. I want to look at, I want to do some analysis, and based on that I may want to derive some kind of conclusions from that data, or I may be even interested in doing some kind of forecastings or predictions based on the observation of the large volume of data. So this is where statistics is really helping me out, right? So overall, when I look at the intention of understanding statistics for finance professionals, it is majorly to address this kind of an objective. So any data that is presented, we are interested in understanding the various dimensions of that data, and probably should lead us to make some kind of inferences and conclusions, or even help me in doing some kind of forecastings once I have a look at that particular data. So with that in mind, the broad agenda for this session is, I would talk about initially the basic concepts relating to statistics. First of all, the different branches of statistics, or probably discussing about different types of measurement scales, etc. Then the next two subparts, I am focusing more and more on summarizing the data. One, using the frequency distribution, because one important thing what I wanted using statistics is a better presentation of the data. Once the data is presented well, the analysis and conclusion making becomes more easy. So the summarizations, one using a frequency distribution, or probably doing a graphical representation. Then we look at a few sections relating to the quantitative computations on the data. Right, I am looking at the quantitative computations on the data, where I talk about for a given data, how is it centered, which is called as a measures of central tendency, and how is it dispersed, how is my data deviating from the center or dispersed from the center, which are talking about the measures of dispersion. Is the pattern of my data more or less symmetrical, or is it lopsided or skewed towards one side? So that is something which we would try to understand. And finally, are the extreme outcomes, are they likely or not? So that is what we are trying to understand through the various mechanisms. And finally, we'll try to see some kind of investment related applications, where I really need to use either a geometric mean or an arithmetic mean, or what is that I am going to, and how can I decide what I can use in what kind of a context. So with that as a base, let's simply get started with the basic fundamental concepts of statistics. So whenever I initiate the basic fundamental concepts, I need to understand what statistics is all about. What do I mean by statistics? Probably two major definitions come out. On one side, we say some data is statistics. Means I have collected the statistics regarding the population of this particular country, which is nothing but I have collected the data regarding the population of this particular country. So sometimes people use the word statistics to mean data, and in some cases, or in most of the cases, statistics means some methods or tools to derive or analyze the data and derive some kind of conclusions out of it. So In general, the statistics as such got broken into two major dimensions. One is the descriptive statistics, where we talk about summarizing the data properly. So some kind of representation, some kind of graphing, charts, summarizing of the data, wherein large sets of data, even if I have large data, I can very well summarize it or consolidate that data so that I can convert that data into useful information. The data is getting transformed into a useful information. So that is what is being taken care by the descriptive statistics. So either I summarize, I do basic computations on the data, all those are going as a part of my descriptive statistics. Whereas when I am talking about the inferential statistics, there is something else that is coming out, wherein my intention is to make some kind of conclusions from the data that the descriptive statistics has given me. I may have to make some kind of conclusions or forecasts or judgments about the data, where I take a small set of data and try to make conclusions about the large set, which actually involves mechanisms like sampling and hypothesis testing. Two major areas that drive this inferential statistics world, whereas the computations and all, they drive the descriptive statistics world. And the base for this entire inferential statistics is nothing but the theory of probability, which we'll be dealing slightly later. So it all starts off with doing some kind of calculations and basic summarizations using the descriptive statistics, and use the concept of probability theory and various probability distributions, which we would be covering in our later sessions. Probability theory and probability distributions get into the inferential statistics, where you take some samples and perform hypothesis testing on the data and try to reveal some kind of conclusions about it. So this is the broad concept or framework in which the statistics would be operating. Now, another important dimension that I would like to get in is, we have been using the word sample. So I just want to differentiate between population versus sample. Whenever I talk about all the members of a group, I call it as population. Whereas if I am taking a subset of that particular group, again here it need not be people, it can be even the returns data, the prices data. If I am including almost all the data from the group, I am calling it as population. But if I am taking any subset of it, I am calling it as a sample. And any measure of this population, like if I am taking the mean of this population, or if I am taking the standard deviation, any measure or any kind of calculation that I am doing on this population, I call it as parameter. Whereas any kind of calculation I am doing on the subset, which is the sample, we call it as a sample statistic. Any calculation or any parameter that describes the population, I call it as parameter. Anything that describes the subset of the population, which is the sample, I call it as sample statistic. Right? Probably many a times we use the words like mean, standard deviation, range, etc. Those are all, if I am finding it on the entire population data, I call them as parameters, and if I find the same on the sample data, I call them as sample statistic. Sometimes, though the data is available regarding the entire population, but working on that entire data could be either pretty much expensive, or it may be time consuming. So it is really not advised to work on the entire data even though the entire data is available. So that's where sampling and proper sampling methods are different kinds of concepts associated with the sampling are there, so that I can take a subset of the entire population in a judicial manner and based on that make my workout and basically provide conclusions regarding the entire population. In most of the inferential statistics world, we work only with the sample of the data, but we make conclusions relating to the population. So that's the beauty of using statistics in a decision making scenario. But the sample needs to be chosen in such a way that it's a good representation, or it has almost all the characteristics of the population in a large manner. That is one thing which needs to be looked at. There are different kinds of sampling methods which I would be dealing with in the later parts of the sessions. So that's one kind of an understanding that you need to develop between the sample as well as the population, and the parameter as well as the sample statistic, because majority of the times what we do is we try to estimate. In conclusion making, we try to estimate the population parameter. We try to estimate the population parameter using sample statistic. That's the key driver in this entire inferential statistics space, right? So we'll get into those things slightly at a later stage. Now the other important concept that I think that we all need to be comfortable with is the data. The data, what are the different scales in which we can look at the data, right? Generally we talk about the four major scales. One is a nominal scale, two is an ordinal. Either we can have the data in the form of an interval scale or even a ratio scale. So I see typically four different measurement scales for looking at the data. One, when I am looking at the nominal scale, probably it is the weakest, because this is purely a textual data or a categorical data. Right, the categorical data, I am assigning some quantification to the categorical data. Probably I am simply saying a categorical data something like 1 means male, 2 means female. I am assigning some kind of a quantification to the data. 1 means male, 2 means female, but there is no ranking to it. No ordering or no ranking. So it doesn't mean that 1 means 1 is greater than 2, or the items which are marked 1 are better than the items which are marked 2, or vice versa. There is no such kind of a ranking among the data